What's going on, guys? Welcome to another brand new episode of Profiling Passionate People. I'm your host, Solomon Ladvinka, and today got a little bit of a throwback, but even more so of a throwback. That's a Ryan Matthews jersey. Shout out to him because he actually visited us with our old head coach in high school. And when I say we, you know what? I just got to bring him in. He's not only a diehard Charger fan, was once my teammate during high school, Mr. Aaron Gallegos right here. Sir, how you doing?
Good, man. It's been a long time. Glad to finally catch up and get to talking to you, man. It's good. Good.
It's great seeing you. This man was part of the U.S. Navy. We'll be talking about that in a different segment. So again, thank you for your service. But like I said, I needed a Chargers fan, and I was like, you know what? I haven't talked to the cat since probably 2019 and 2009, and I'm hoping he still remembers me. And dude, you've been the person that's been sharing my stuff, liking my stuff, and obviously a big family friend to all of us. And just really much love to you. And just hearing about your little one into football now.
Right,
So
yeah.
we'll be talking about him in a second. But all right, let's talk about your Chargers. How did you become, whether it was obviously you weren't young enough or old enough and with the LA Chargers way back in the day,
No,
but San Diego Chargers, I've known you since then. Tell me about the Charger love.
So, I don't know. I think it was maybe June or not. I was going into like sixth grade maybe or something. And I was kind of really just starting to get into football and hanging out with my dad all the time. And anytime the game was on, there was always the Chargers. And I just kind of, that's what I grew up with. He was always had the Charger game on, and we just sit down and, sit there and watch LaDainian Tomlinson and Drew Brees go at it, way back in the day. So
Okay.
Antonio Gates, so that good little trio that we got going on, should have won a Super Bowl during that time, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah, that and your guys' most underrated player that I loved during that era was Vincent Jackson. That
Oh my
dude,
gosh, yes.
those post, I'm getting goosebumps.
Dude.
Those post routes,
Yep.
and God rest his soul. He just passed away earlier
terrible.
this year, but yeah, Vincent Jackson, Antonio Gates, LaDainian Tomlinson, even Darren Sproles when he was first the bowling ball. And yeah, Drew Brees. I mean, so you've been a fan for many years. Obviously, I'm sure you saw a lot of games down in Qualcomm, considering you're only about 4 hours away from the stadium. Am I correct?
No, unfortunately, never got down there. Yeah, never. I have never been to a Charger game just because we were not, we didn't really have, the means to get down there and go see everything. So,
okay, for sure.
And then kind of in high school, still never really had any kind of opportunity to go down there. But now that I'm out of the Navy and back in here, and that's actually on my list of things to do here. Hopefully, either this season or next season, I'm definitely going to be down there and checking out the new SoFi Stadium and everything. So, but we'll be getting there soon.
Yeah, I mean, I did a volunteer project a couple of weeks ago, and in return, they were throwing in free tickets for this like revival Justin Bieber kind of concert thing or whatever, and they had it at SoFi Stadium, and oh my God, the thing is brand new. I mean, even the announcer was just like, "Hey, this place is so brand new. You can go to the urinals into the bathroom and you'll be the first one making that first flush in SoFi Stadium history." So that thing is just massive. And honestly, like, I really do hope that you get out to there, get to see your team in person. But I mean, let's go back to like 2008, 2009, because obviously when we were in high school, shout out to Frontier High School, the Titans, obviously we had a grind Monday through Friday. We were in school, practice in the evenings, and then Friday, Saturdays would be our games. And we really didn't have any time to do anything on the weekends, go down to a stadium or, go down to Arizona or Qualcomm or whatever. But, that's just part of the grind. But now that we old, you got, there's your youngin right there.
What's up, bud? Hold on, baby. I'll call you back. Okay.
But,
thanks, buddy.
So I'm really curious, and the people that I love bringing on here that do have young ones now, are you bringing, obviously he's with football, are you bringing him into the Charger family and the Charger fan love?
So I mean, he is around it all every Sunday, Thursday, Monday, he gets to see it all, but I'll kind of want him to, be like his own self and like go into whatever team he liked. But
I love that.
We're good though, because he's on the Charger bandwagon right now, so we're good. But no, yeah, he's definitely a Chargers fan. We got a whole bunch of. He just my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, they came back from one of their mini camps down there, and they got him a
Oh,
Justin
nice.
Hurt. They got him a Herbie jersey and a Bosa jersey. So we got all kinds of jerseys in the closet. So we're good on that train right there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, those two right there are like the centerfold of what this team is going to
Mm-hmm.
become. And I'm really excited. But yeah, let's talk jerseys. Obviously, I'm rocking Ryan
Yeah.
Matthews. And the thing is, obviously, we remember Ryan. He was Coach Cornford's like protege
Yeah.
out of West High School. And he would bring some of us over to like his workouts because he would always visit Frontier and mingle with us student athletes and everything. And I was like, oh my God, this is like the first
No, right.
like football player I know. And oh my God, Ryan this. And I've got the jersey in 2010. And I mean, obviously Ryan's done what Ryan
Yeah.
did, but it is what it is. Injuries do catch up to us. And obviously we getting older now and we start feeling a little bit more pain that we never
Right.
thought we had. Dude, my
Stand up
back be
funny.
hurting. Yeah. Like I got to wear cushions
Right.
in the computer chair here. But, at the end of the day, that's why, like I said, I needed a Chargers fan. You definitely fit that persona, but I just love the fact that you're passing it on to generation or to
Mm-hmm.
the next generation. And he now has these, other than yourself, but he has these role models to look up to and
Yes.
and
Yes.
idolize in his game. And for me growing up, I had a lot of Eddie George jerseys, Derek Masons, and Steve McNair's because obviously I was a diehard tight end fan. But I love seeing this younger generation just rocking and sporting these jerseys. And kudos to you and the wifey taking care of
Thank you.
him and getting him into football and obviously doing it safe and everything. But
Yep.
I just love hearing that.
Yeah, it's a great time seeing him out there running around with helmet because they're full pads and everything now. So he's running around out there and doing what he can and getting the feel of things and trying to figure out how to run with that big old helmet on his tiny little head. So
Yeah.
he's getting it though. We're getting it.
What position is he looking at?
We got him at wide receiver and cornerback right now.
Okay.
So I mean,
kind of following in father's footsteps there.
A little bit when I was early on, that's kind of where I was at. But towards the end, in high school, I was a defensive end,
Yep.
down on the line. So,
Yep.
But the learning all the, the stuff that I learned from blocking or, having to face blocks is definitely applying to what he's doing out there on the, the perimeter. Cause it's a lot of running plays right now, so trying to fight off those blocks and whatnot. So he's doing good.
Yep. And honestly, what I'm referring to, because I remember when you were a corner, when you were a
Yes.
DB, and I developed Gator arms really soon when I saw you coming across the middle. You and Emilio Oropeza.
Oh
I remember you guys had the perfect form of how to light somebody up. And that was the type of defense that we had was you needed to strap up that chin strap and make sure you're about to get popped.
Yep.
And that transitions to the Chargers nowadays. Joey Bosa's a freaking beast.
Man, dude, guy is an animal, straight up monster, dude. Like, just he'll be in Canton someday. He keeps performing the way he's barring injury or whatnot. But man, that boy is just a straight up baller and just he lays people out, man.
Yeah, and if he's not quarterback pressuring that whole defensive line, the whole defense in general, it's very underrated, but it's scary.
Yes, especially Derwin James is back. When watching him at doing the joint practice and everything, looking good. Looks like that he had a meniscus injury last season.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's not bothering him because dude is flying all over the place and looks like he's grasping the defense that Brandon Staley and Ronaldo are bringing to them. And I'm excited I'm excited for this year. It's been a long time since I've been like really, really excited.
Yeah. And honestly, if you guys get that 2018, 2019 Derwin James, this team could be scary. Yes, so now we flip it over to the offense. You talked about Herbie, go Oregon. But the most underrated offense I feel in the league right now. I get it, they're young, and I'm making a huge stretch here, but there is so many big playmakers that are across the board. And one of the biggest underrated receiver in the game and does not get talked about enough, my guy Keenan Allen.
It blows my mind how little that man gets talked about. Like, he doesn't have like blazing speed, but the dude is agile and runs routes like nobody even knows. Man's always open,
I'm
and just
yeah.
he's so good.
I'm not the first one to make this comparison, and people may call me crazy, but I grew up in the Jerry Rice era,
Mm-hmm.
and growing up back home in San Francisco, Jerry Rice is my favorite player of all time. Keenan Allen reminds me so much of Jerry. Just they weren't the fastest dudes, but they knew how to separate. They had the perfect toe taps, and they're
Mm-hmm.
just so lanky and able. And DeAndre Hopkins, same thing.
Yeah.
Those two are, I'm getting goosebumps. Those two are the biggest like Jerry Rice impersonations that is in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love seeing Keenan Allen play his game. Him and Herbert have this great chemistry together. So, and I think right now, because obviously the loss of Hunter Henry going over to the Patriots, Keenan Allen's going to be targeted a lot more, and also Jared Cook that they just brought in.
I think Jared Cook too will, he's just going to, I think he'll have more production than Hunter Henry did, just because he is coming from the Saints with Joe Lombardi and that whole offensive scheme that he's bringing over. So I think he's going to see a lot more production this year, just going down the middle up the seam. Dude can catch like no else other.
Yeah. And also, I mean, we can't forget about Austin Eckler. The dude really just came onto the scene, was not really given a shot. And he was just like, hey man, I gotta make the most of my ability. And this dude is face of the Chargers right now.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Definitely came out and made an impact, and he's so strong. I don't know if you ever watched any of his workout videos or anything. Dude is like pound for pound, like probably one of the strongest dudes, if not the strongest dude in the league. And he's so little and so strong. It's hard to bring him down watching these guys try and make these tackles. It's like either you wrap up and bring 3 other guys with you, otherwise he's getting out of that.
Yeah, I mean, his legs are, he can carry a load
yes,
and
he can
still be able to make that cut and be down the field, and you're just in his footsteps. So
yes, sir.
I mean, you guys look at last season, okay, 7-9, you open this brand new stadium combining with the Rams and everything. Still fight for LA, whose team is it? And especially you guys sharing the stadium now. I really loved not how Tyrod Taylor got pushed out of the system, but it was time for him to go. I feel that Tyrod and Teddy Bridgewater are in the same boat. I can't stand the two dudes. I don't like their play at all, and they're just injury prone, and everyone just keeps hyping them up. And I'll even say the same thing. I'm not a big fan of Ryan Tannehill, and I'm a Titans fan. So let's just even the playing field there.
Call it right there. Yeah.
Call it as it is. But anyways, you look at Herbert, I think he has the most success as an Oregon Duck. Obviously, that hurts me saying, because I love Marcus Mariota. But you look at the fact that this Chargers offensive coordinator and their coaching system is seeing, okay, we have this gem of a player, and let's utilize his strengths. And that's why I really love this coaching staff, because you see what you can get with Herbert when you do what Herbert can do. When you brought in Mariota, or when we brought in Mariota, Ken Wisenhunt did a great job bringing him in, because he ran what Mariota wanted to run. But when you bring in a Vrabel, when you bring in Mike Mularkey, it's all smash mouth old school football. And I get it. Derrick Henry is great, but if you're not going to let Marcus do his thing, or even Lamar Jackson, look how successful he is because of great coaching.
Right. Every year that man is just slow, like his stats increase, and they have not stopped. It's like they've molded what they can around him. And like you said, he's just getting such good coaching, and it's crazy to see what good coaching could do. Same like Josh Allen, dude was terrible. They brought in Sean McDermott, great coach. And look what they've done with that. They, playoff runs, and they'll probably be in the playoffs for, years to come if they keep up with the pace that they're doing right now. But I agree. Hopefully this coaching staff looks like Brandon Staley. He did play a little bit quarterback back in his day. So it looks like he's building that offense with Joe Lombardi, and really going to utilize Justin's potential and get him out there and let him loose, because I'm excited to see, especially now that they got that upgraded offensive line. So it's going to be exciting to see what he can do.
Money well spent. But also, you look at the AFC West, you guys do have the probably 10-headed monster in the
Seriously,
Chiefs.
yes.
The Raiders are looking good. Yes, you guys finished third at 7-9, but even though we're going to a 17-game season this year, I really think you guys have so much potential to do at least a 10 or an 11 or 12-game season, or
That's kind of how I feel too.
12-win season.
For
it's
sure.
just, if you can continue to have the wheels just going. Again, you guys have probably a top 5, if not top 8 defense in this league with Derwin James and with Joey Bosa, and that offense can keep clicking. This team can be very scary. And how little the league spotlights the Chargers, it's a shame. But I would not be surprised, because obviously I still really feel that the Chiefs are realistically the Chiefs are going to take the AFC West, but I can see you guys at least sneaking into that wild card spot.
Well, if we give him a run for money, like when Herbie came out for his first game against them, there could be some upsets here and there, but I definitely do think they will definitely secure the AFC West. But barring injury and how well Justin Herbert and this defense can grasp the new coaching change and the new defense, the different schemes that are being brought over. I do think we have a good shot, at least to get into a wild card shot. But it is Justin's second year, so hopefully we don't see that sophomore slump like we do with most quarterbacks, and hopefully just powers through that. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's too smart. He's too quick with the ball. Dude gets through progressions like nobody's business. And I mean, he's just a smart guy, and he understands coverages so well. And he had a whole nother year of pro football to get underneath his belt and strictly focus on football. And I think he's just going to be that much better next season. Or this season, sorry.
And honestly, with some of these young quarterbacks, their immaturity really shows. Like how you said, he's quick with his progressions, but if he can just instantly see what he has, and he already does. I'm just restating the fact. Check it down to Eckler, and Eckler can make somebody miss in the open field.
Dude, it's easy yardage, it's easy first downs, and if not touchdowns, because like I said, him in the open field against the backer, that's 100 for him. That's an easy win, and that's all you got to do. Check it down.
And talking about wins, I don't like giving automatic wins here and there, because you never know what happens. 0-0 at the beginning of every game. You guys open against Washington, against Fitzmagic and those guys. It's a little bit of a toss-up, but I see you guys squeaking now. But you look at this overall schedule, you just said a double-digit win year this year. I know you guys would love to go 17-0, but realistically,
who wouldn't?
Realistically, how you thinking overall is going to be the record with 17 games?
I think it's probably going to be a 10-win season for us.
10-7.
Yes, sir. I think so. There are a few teams on here that I'm looking at that can give us a good tough time, but like I said, we got our defense. They're all back healthy. Derwin James is back there. He's running the defense. He's the quarterback. He's got the green. Defense. He's got the green dot on the helmet and everything. So, and plus we got Mike Davis out there, another great corner who's coming into his own. Asante Samuel, and
I'm so excited to see him.
I don't know how we got away with those two steals, Rashawn Slater and Asante Samuel. I don't know how we got away with it, but thank you so much for those picks.
And honestly, picks is what they do. And I mean, he already picked off Jimmy G, and Junior did. If Junior is going to be anything just like his pops,
that's watch out. Derwin, Asante, Mike Davis out there. It's gonna be good.
Honestly, I mean, Asante Jr. doesn't have the length, but he has the break and the IQ. I feel like another Antonio Cromartie. And that's an old school player right there. But that boy was a ball hawk.
Yes, he was. I'm excited to see him out there. We got one last preseason week, and then we're into the main season. So I'm excited to see what all happens. And man, I just hope my boys on the defense can stay healthy.
And I'm hoping you'll be able to see them. I mean, obviously, 2.5 hours away, you being down or up there in Bakersfield. Obviously, if you can wave a magic wand, what game would you like to see this year?
Week 15.
Okay.
Probably Kansas City. I want to see. I like watching Herbert and Mahomes go at it. Like they're just it's, it's the pedigree level of competition right there. Like if you beat the Chiefs, you're doing something right. So any one of those games against the Chiefs, I'd love to watch, my Chargers play against, because I think those guys are probably the best test of your football team.
And honestly, I don't like opening old wounds, but Chargers should have won that game last year against the Chiefs anyways. But
yeah, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why we're in a whole new coaching change. And so listening to some of the Chargers podcasts and stuff like that, a lot of the defensive guys, especially the linebackers, they're talking about how they're going to get to play more of a linebacker position and not so much Drew Tranquil running down the field trying to cover Tyreek Hill on those streak pads. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, and we mentioned him several times. Derwin James can play linebacker as well, and he can crowd the line. And honestly, he's like another Troy Polamalu in my opinion.
Right.
He's just something different. But Aaron, really appreciate you, my brother. So great catching up with you and your Chargers. Thanks, man. Hopefully you'll be able to see that game here soon. And obviously from you to everyone else, bolt up, right?
Right on, bolt up, baby. Go Chargers. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, you guys stay passionate, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Have a good one, man.